Thank you for joining our webinar, The Power of Video to Transform Your Online Marketing. My name is Brian Costello, and I'm the Director of Business Development and Partner Management here at One-on-One Internet. Today, we will take an in-depth look at how video can help you achieve your online marketing goals and improve your business. One-on-One My Website is the leading online website building solution for small business because it's easy to use and maintain and designed to meet the needs of your small business. To help you achieve the most professional site possible, One-on-One Internet launched the My Website web app store. The goal of the store is to provide My Website customers with market-leading solutions for their website. With hundreds of web apps to choose from, these solutions are easy to add to your site and will help you better communicate with your customers, increase your leads, and ultimately generate more revenue for your business. Video is a transformative tool for your website and online marketing. To better understand how you can use video effectively, I'd like to introduce our subject matter expert today, Jonathan Stefansky, CEO of Viewbix. Welcome, Jonathan.
Thanks, Brian. I appreciate you having me and taking the time to allow us to speak a few minutes about video marketing. Great. So I'll take it from here, and thanks again, Brian, and to everyone, all the one-on-one attendees. I'm really excited to share some fantastic data and things we've learned from the 70,000 plus businesses that are leveraging the Viewbix platform. Just in terms of, to give you a quick overall structure of what the webinar is going to cover, in total it's going to be about 40 minutes from now. About 30 minutes will be devoted to the webinar itself, and we'll leave about 10 to 15 minutes for QA. Throughout the process is a question section on your GoToWebinar control panel. If at any point you have questions, please use that control panel to ask questions, and during the Q&A session, we'll do our best to get to as many of those questions as possible. So let's just jump into the agenda real quickly in terms of what we're going to cover in the next 25 to 30 minutes. First, we're going to discuss a level playing field so everyone understands what video marketing is. We'll discuss what we've seen in terms of customer best practices to drive more leads and sales and fans from those videos. We'll discuss what people are doing in terms of video marketing on Facebook and Twitter, and obviously mobile is becoming an increasingly important part of people's marketing strategies, and we'll talk about how video marketing applies on mobile devices. And then we'll get into this concept of A/B testing and using analytics and how you can use tools to improve your performance. And finally, we'll actually do a live demo of the Viewbix video marketing platform together with One-on-One, and we'll show you how these two great products work seamlessly together for you to be able to leverage some of the things we talked about in this webinar in terms of video marketing on your One-on-One website literally today. And finally, as I mentioned, we'll wrap things up with a Q&A. So again, and I'll remind you kind of frequently throughout the webinar, if you have any questions throughout the process, please use the questions section of the control panel, and we'll do our best, as I said, to get as many questions as possible. So before we get started in terms of the content, and we'll do this throughout the presentation, we have some very simple poll questions to get a sense of people's understanding of video marketing and what they're doing in terms of video, and we'll share those results with you as well, so you can get a good sense of how your peers are using video and kind of where you stand in the audience today in terms of your use. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Brian for some really quick, two quick poll questions to get things started. We'll share those results, and then we'll jump right in.
Thanks a lot, Jonathan. So our first poll question today, in the last 6 months, have you watched a video before making a purchase of a product? So we'll give you just a little second here to answer that question so we can get a feel for it. And then we'll share that out. So you can see that in the last 6 months, have you watched a video before making a purchase of a product or service? 69% yes, 31% no. Alrighty, and now we're going to do our second poll question, which is how many videos have you created for your business? Please select one of the following: none, 1 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 10, 10 plus. And so we have 68% none, 20% 1 to 3, 4 to 6, 5%, and 10 plus 5%. So interesting statistics. So we'll turn it back over to you, Jonathan.
Great. Excellent. So let's just talk about those results. Right? So what the audience has said is 70% of you have watched a video in terms of purchasing a product or service. Yet 68% of your numbers have not created video. So what you're saying is, from a consumption perspective, as part of your buying decision, video is an increasingly important component. And, and then when you kind of look at how you're using video today, I think there's a huge opportunity in terms of better leveraging video to exactly achieve the goals that you as a consumer use to help your business. And we'll give it a lot more data in terms of why that's true. But I look at this and saying, looking at the poll results, there's a huge opportunity to leverage video to help your business. So just to get everyone on the same page, let's kind of define video marketing. So I picked this off the Internet Marketing Dictionary, just a quick definition. And you can read this in terms of how they define video. And what I highlighted in red is really what I think is the key part here, which is it's using video to promote an offer, right? We're not talking about branding, although you do get branding benefit of people who watch your video. But when we talk about video marketing, we're talking about how you can use your video to promote an offer, or in other words, to drive engagement. How you're using video to help your business. And helping your business may mean a lead, it might be a fan, it might be an actual sale, but it's all about, and this is what we're going to cover in the next 25 minutes or so, is exactly how you can use video to help your business. So, the obvious question is, and we kind of looked at this from a poll result, that 70% said, hey, I'm watching videos. If you look at some data, and I took this from a website that has 101 plus video facts, and I spared you the other 97, but just took a couple of those out. And what you see by these results is, this year 90% of internet traffic is going to be video, right? And I think most importantly, when you look at the way people are consuming content, and we think about our blog content, our email content, 86% of the people would rather watch a video than actually read content. So you have a captive audience, and then when you tie in these numbers and you say, shoppers were 174% more likely to purchase a viewed a video, or they spend so much more time on pages, it starts to create the story of video becoming the dominant content play, and most importantly, it becomes one of the integral, if not the most important parts of people's buying decisions, right? And that's a critical thing. And just take one more slide to back that up. When you look at the amount of time that people are spending on the web, video is the largest time that people are spending. Now, a lot of this obviously is not necessarily for product videos, and it may be for entertainment and music, etc. But the point is, when we look at our viewing patterns and what people are getting used to on the web, they're used to spending time watching video, which means that's the preferred way that they like consuming content. So given the fact that we've established, even with our poll, that 70% are doing this on this call, and those numbers are pretty consistent with what we've seen, and that video has become the dominant content strategy, the next question becomes, how do we use video effectively as part of our marketing efforts? And specifically, we'll cover later on how we can use it as part of our one-on-one websites as well. So jumping right into this, a couple of, 4 quick best practices. And again, as I mentioned, this is what we've learned from our customer base of over 70,000 businesses, and we've gleaned some really important facts. So the first question, and it sounds like a lot of you are not using video today yet. So, one question we get in, and Viewbix is not in the content creation business. We partner with great content creation companies, but we see data, and we see lots of data, and we see kind of, questions that people ask us on the content creation side is, how long should I make my video, right? And the answer in general that we've seen from a data perspective is that, the mantra of KISS, right? Keep it simple, stupid, which is the shortest that you can do to make a compelling message is the most critical. The first 5 to 7 seconds are critical to capturing people's attention. And in general, 60 to 75, maybe 90 seconds is really kind of the maximum amount of content you want to go. What we see in terms of user drop-off is the biggest drop-off is in the first 25% of the video, meaning that the users who drop off before the video is over 25% over is the higher drop-off. And as you move down from 25 to 50% of the video to 75%, and then to 100% completion of the video, your drop-off rates, drop significantly. But unless it's really long, if the video is longer, obviously people will drop off. Now, there are occasions where you can use longer content if it's really compelling content, it's extremely interesting. But for the average business and the average user, that 60 to 75, 90-second mark is kind of the sweet spot of people's attention. The second thing, and this is kind of what we're going to focus a lot of time on, is what I call people wasting video views. And this drives me, as a business owner myself, crazy, in that when we think about the metrics of success and how people are gauging performance, what they're saying is if I can get people to watch my video, it's a success. In other words, their success metric is video views. And that's a bit crazy because, I'll give you a great case study. We have a client of ours that got featured on YouTube twice. Amazing. They got 4 million people watching their video. And what happened, and I happened to see one of their videos, a friend of mine shared on Facebook, and we'll talk more about Facebook and video marketing, is I saw the video, and I said that was cute, commented, liked, what have you, and moved on. But their goal was it was a lead generation campaign. And they generated, of these 4 million video views, 6 email signups, right? So from a business perspective, it was a massive failure because they didn't drive any engagement, because there was no call to action. There was no way to capture people's attention. With using Viewbix, and we'll talk about using video marketing in general, they've been able to now generate 8% email sign-up. So it's not about how many people necessarily are watching your videos. It's about the people who are watching them, what are they doing? Are they taking the action that you want them to take? And that's really, when we think about video marketing, the most crucial aspect of things is, are you driving an engagement? Are you getting the people who are watching your videos to take the actions that you want? And when we talk about actions, there's lots of different learners. Some people are visual learners, some people are audio learners. There's lots of different ways that people learn. And what that means, and it's a perfect segue into the next step, is testing, right? And this is a critical component of what I would say all marketing efforts is testing, and A/B testing, and optimizing, and driving performance. Because one way that you reach a user, if they're a visual learner, is going to be different than how you appeal to someone who's an audio learner. And the only way that you're going to find that out is by testing and creating multivariate testing, be able to do lots of A/B testing, be able to understand what's working and what's not working. And it's really critical when you think about video marketing that you include the testing as part of this, because you're not going to know what works and what doesn't work unless you have the right reporting and analytics set up to be able to measure true success of your videos. So before we move on, right, one thing I just want to do in terms of establishing a baseline as well is this definition, because I keep using this word engagement. And engagement means different things to different people. For the context of this webinar, we're going to define an engagement as people who are watching the video taking an action, right? And that action might be clicking on a call to action button, it might be filling out a form, it might be sharing the player, but ultimately define an engagement as someone who's watching the video and taking the business action that you want them to take. Right? That's how we define an engagement. So before we move on, we're going to throw up a quick poll about your Facebook marketing, and I just want to, we'll see, again, I know most of you don't have videos yet, but for those of you who do, I'd like to know how many of those of you are using video on your Facebook company. So I'll turn it back over to Brian.
Okay, great, Jonathan. So we've got a couple folks in here reporting. We'll just give it a second longer. Have you used videos on your Facebook company page? Yes, 18%. No, 82%.
Great. So again, huge opportunity here, right? When we think about people who are watching a video, and I'll show you a live demo of this in a second, in that people who are on your Facebook page, and you look at the amount of time that people are spending on Facebook and increasingly on Twitter, right? They're consuming mounds of video content, right? It's one of the most popular. We look at photos, we look at videos, right? That's what people are spending time on Facebook. And now the question becomes, from a marketing perspective, how do we turn those Facebook video views into engagement, right? And when you think about, this, and we'll talk about this in the context of mobile as well, in that the idea is that people are watching your videos everywhere. They're watching on your website, they're watching on your Facebook pages, they're watching on your Twitter, they're watching it, on mobile devices. So your goal as a video marketer is that no matter where you're sharing your content, and you want to share it broadly to drive as many views as you want, but as I mentioned before, you want to make every one of those views count. So it's absolutely critical that when you're using video on Facebook or on Twitter, or someone's watching it from a mobile device, is that you capture their attention, and more importantly, not just capture their attention, but back to what we talked about before, which is driving an engagement. So, we talked about mobile. Let's throw up a quick poll on mobile right now.
Okay, so do you have a mobile-friendly website or landing page? Obviously, if you're using my website, we do have optimization capabilities within the editor, so it can be viewed on a mobile device. We have about almost 70% voted, so we're going to close this out on the yes or no question and share out the results. So mobile-friendly website or landing page, yes 46, no 54%.
Okay, great. So a lot closer in terms of mobile friendly. And again, when we think about mobile, right, interesting, we talk about 50% of online videos is mobile traffic, but again, more than half of you don't have a mobile friendly site. And again, forgetting about video marketing for 1 second, it's absolutely critical that you think about that. We're seeing an increasingly large number of video views coming on mobile devices. And the reason why, so marketing in general, it's really critical, and as Brian said, if you have a one-on-one website, they are optimized for video, for mobile, so that's a great first step. But you also have to think about, responsive themes. You have to think about how your website is sized to make that mobile experience extremely friendly, extremely useful, because a increasingly large percentage of people are watching your content. And when it comes to video, that's even more true. As you notice from these stats, more than 50% of mobile traffic is mobile, that they're more likely to purchase a product or watch a video. And what we've seen from our own reporting is that we talk about engagement rates. We talk about engagement, I'll get that in a slide or two, is that on average, 23% of people who watch a video on a Viewbix player take an action. They drive an engagement. But when it comes to mobile devices, specifically iPads and Android devices, our users were getting 40%. That means that almost 1 in 2 people who are watching the video are taking an action on a mobile device. And the reason that engagement rate is higher, we think, on a mobile device versus a web device is that because it's touch-friendly. It's easy. When people are watching a video, they can touch what they want to do. It's created a huge engagement rate. And we've seen this ourselves. So when you start thinking about your overall video marketing strategy, right, number one, we talked about driving engagement and focusing on telling the user to do what you want, maximizing every view. Number two, we talked about making sure that your content is everywhere, on social, on mobile, and everywhere that people are seeing your content, you want to drive engagement. And now we're talking about that you have to be conscientious of the fact that an increasingly large percentage of your traffic is coming from mobile devices, and you need to optimize that performance, and again, make sure that your engagements are being able to be captured on mobile devices. I'm just going to take a quick pause and just a quick reminder here that at any point during the presentation, please use the questions section. And again, we'll get to as many of the questions in the Q&A section as we can. Just use the GoToWebinar control panel questions. And let's, Brian, let's put up our last slide, our last poll, I'm sorry, before we get to the next slide.
Okay, yeah, so which analytics package do you use? Please select one, none, Google Analytics, Kissmetrics, or other. So 57% are using none, 35% Google Analytics, and 8% other, and Kissmetrics is not popular today with 0%, so there you go.
So, what we're talking about here is, driving engagement, mobile, social. But the thing you have to do is be able to track performance, right? And again, the majority of you are not using analytics today, and I think it's absolutely critical that no matter what type of marketing you're doing, you have to be able to gauge performance. Otherwise, you're going to wind up spending a ton of time and money and not be able to understand what's working and what's not working. And when we go back to what we said before in terms of testing and having multivariate testing and being able to try different audience to appeal to different learners, right? If you don't measure, then all of those tests are worthless. And again, I think it's extremely important when we think about video marketing to understand, is it the video that's working? Is it the branding that's working? Is it the call to action? Is it the apps? How does it perform on Facebook? How does it perform on mobile? And if you don't have a great analytics package and a great A/B testing tool, then you're losing the opportunity to drive serious, and we're talking about hundreds of percent of increase of performance based upon just understanding how things are working, what's working well, what's not working well, and what that's going to do is help you better understand how to use your time and how to use your money most effectively to drive whatever business goals you want.
Have you ever used a video in your email marketing? Please answer yes or no. And we're going to close it out and share out the results. 89% have not. So interesting statistic there.
Great. So 89% no. You know, again, when we talk about engagement rates, and this is why we had that poll question, is on average, we talked about, well, and this is what we've seen, as I mentioned, across millions of impressions every month, that 23% of the people who are watching a video in a Viewbix player, which means that they have these calls to action, they have the app as a branded player, on average, and we talked about mobile being 40%, but on average, 23% of the people who are watching the video, which is 1 in 4, are taking an action. What we've seen is, and we talked about mobile and we talked about social, but it's important everywhere. I'll just give you an example. And the reason we brought email marketing is we eat our own dog food here at Viewbix, and we released a video email product which allows us not just to add companies like Aweber and MailChimp and Constant Contact and a whole bunch of different email platforms in the player, but now you can take your videos and put them in your email campaign. And we've seen literally a lift of between 80 to 100% increase in the number of clicks in our videos by adding video thumbnails inside the email player. So, you know, we talk about driving engagement, and we think about Facebook, and we think about mobile, and we think about all the different ways. You know, email marketing, other ways of traditional marketing, you know, by adding your videos as part of that, it's going to drive engagement rate. So with that being said, you know, in about 10 minutes, let's now say, you know, now that we have a good understanding of why video marketing is important for your business and why it's critical as part of your social and mobile and email marketing, and you also realize that you have to test, let's actually look as a one-on-one customer how you today can actually drive engagement from your videos. And we'll do a live demo. So here I am on my, you know, one-on-one website, and it's my excellent site. And so what you'll notice here is that once I'm in my site in the editing panel, in order to use Viewbix and build your own interactive video, you go to the Add Web Apps, okay? And what that will do, it will bring up the web store. And from here, what you can do is just search for Viewbix. So I'll just type in Viewbix, okay? And I'll select Viewbix. So once I'm in the web store, right, what I'll get is a description of the app, configuration, technical data, and let's just jump to configuration. It'll show you what to do here, and there's some videos as well. But let's click on to the web app. And so what this will do, it will take us to the web app. And what you'll notice is that first you have to register an account with Viewbix, and then you'll really be able to use the app. But I'll go back to the web app, and what that will do is it will actually show you the Viewbix app in the insert elements under products and documents. So again, once you've done this the first time, you can go back to the web store, or you can go to the insert elements and products and documents. And as you see, you know, there's a great, you know, way to, and what one-on-one does is show you exactly what to do. So drag the element to your website. So we're going to do this, and we're going to drag it right to where we want to put this. And we want to put our interactive video right on the top of our page. And what you'll need to do is add your Viewbix landing page URL in here to get your interactive video. And if you're not sure how to do that, just click on this help icon. So we'll click on the help icon to get us back to the App Store, right? And again, what this will tell us is here are the technical data and configuration options. And what we see again is that you have to register your account. So in order to use Viewbix, right, you have the element, the Viewbix element, inserted in your page, but we have to go what's called the Viewbix landing page URL. So let's go over to Viewbix, create our account, and show you how to get that URL. So what happens is you'll be redirected to the Viewbix page. You can sign up for a free account as well. We have free and paid accounts. And what that will do is bring you to our studio once you log in and you choose what type of account you want. Just to give you a quick idea, what this will allow you to do is under 5 minutes, with no technical training, we allow you to choose any video hosted anywhere to be able to transform those videos into interactive players, custom branded, that work inline on your Facebook account, across mobile devices, with analytics and A/B testing, all the things we talked about in mobile friendly, right? Under 5 minutes, no technical training. So let's actually create one together. And what you'll see here is just a quick snapshot of the platform. Is you have integrated support. You see quick overview of analytics, and we'll go into analytics in more detail as well. That'll tell you how your video is performing, where click-throughs are coming from, where people are sharing your player. But let's actually create our player. And when you create your player, there's 3 steps to do this. Step 1 is to choose your video. In this case, I choose a YouTube video, and all you have to do is literally search YouTube right here. You don't have to copy and paste. I can search for anything here. So in this case, let me search for Viewbix. And what this will do is literally make a call to YouTube, and I can choose whatever video I want. And once I choose what video I want, it will put it in the player. You could self-host it, Amazon, self-hosted, Vimeo, etc., but that's step 1. Step 2 is branding the player. If you want to add a call to action button here, what you would do is you would do a button text, and let's say sign up, and you'll notice here's my button, that's sign up, and then I can redirect people to any landing page. So literally 5 seconds, I have not just a standard YouTube video, but I have a call to action that's driving users to take an action that I want. I'm just going to remove this for now. And then there's all sorts of branding. So for example, if I want to change the color, the background color, if I want to change the color logo and start, and this is where you get to A/B testing, right? You can optimize the right call to action color, the right background. If I want to upload a logo, I have this nice Viewbix logo, all I have to do is click upload logo, and I'll put it on my page. And then what's nice is I actually can click this logo and make call to action on that. I can have my own background image, bottom logo. And what's great, it's all drag and drop. Just upload, you configure where you want people to register, and that's it. You can change the fonts and all sorts of other options. But let me actually focus on what step 3, which is really, I think, the most powerful. So step 1, just to recall, is to choose your video, create your custom player, and now you can add these interactive apps. And what do we mean by interactive apps? You could add your email marketing forms in this. Literally, all you have to do is enter your username and password if you're using a constant contact account or MailChimp or your API key. But it's so simple. Literally, in a matter of seconds, you can do this. If you want to add your YouTube video, all I did was go to Settings, drop in my username, I choose the videos that I want, and now inside of my video you'll see here is my more videos that I have, right, so that people who are watching this video can watch more videos. I have my integrated mail form, right here in the player itself. We added social sharing. So any of you who like us on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, right, all of these are literally dragging and drop. You want to configure them, you go to the settings, and I just put facebook.com/Viewbix or twitter.com/Viewbix, right? I put our LinkedIn page. So it's literally no configurations, and when you're done, right, what you do is you have a fully functioning player that's completely interactive, and this is our player. More videos, our mailing list where you can capture forms in the player, people can follow us on social, they can click through, they can join the webinar, right? And we have transformed and done exactly what we talked about. This passive video, right, becomes an opportunity to drive leads, to drive fans, to drive sales. And when you're done, it couldn't be easier to use. I put this on my website like I would any embed code, like any YouTube embed code. I can custom size it. I can make it a responsive theme. And we talk about video email. This is a new feature we use for our Platinum clients. You can actually take a snapshot of the video and have it redirect where you want, where people are watching that. You could share it on Facebook and Twitter. And when I say sharing on Facebook, the way it shares is not just sharing it like a video, regular video, but when I click play here, I'm no longer just watching the video, but I'm watching the video with all the integrated branding and call to actions. So what you'll notice here is, here's my video, and what I have here is, let me turn the sound off, is all of those apps inside the player itself. So contact form, more videos, about us, right? All of that is happening. Oops, hold on one second. Hit the wrong button. Is all of that is happening inside of the player itself, right? And any one of my friends who shares this video is no longer just sharing a video, but they're sharing the video with the call to action, with the branding, and now any one of my friends or their friends who watch this video become an opportunity to convert those viewers. And and then you wrap that all up with an analytics suite, where now I can tell you who's watching your video, where people are sharing your player, which apps people are clicking on. You can select one video versus another you could drill down A/B testing and see how different videos are performing one versus the other, to then use our A/B testing tool, which is in our players section, to create clones and A/B tests. So then I could, if I like that specific player, I could set up a single clone or multiple clones and then A/B test and go back to my analytics to see how things are working. Again, I just gave you a very high-level snapshot of the Viewbix Studio. There's a lot more features, and you can go to support.viewbix.com to get a whole host of training videos to learn more about how to use the studio. But as you can see, in under 5 minutes, we were able to create a custom player with interactive apps. Now let's get back to that critical landing page, right? And this is how we get things back to one-on-one. When we come to the share section, remember, choose our video, brand our player, add those apps. Now when I come to share, I go to view landing page. All I do is a simple copy. And now let's go back to our one-on-one editor. Once I have that landing page URL, I simply paste that and click Save. That is literally all you need to do. And now what you'll have is you'll have your interactive video directly on your one-on-one hosting page. So again, let me just show you that one more time. I go back in to the share section, step 4, click landing page URL, paste it in on my one-on-one page, and actually let's look at it from a page view. Okay? So what we just did by, again, going to the web store, we chose Viewbix, we added the app element, right? And then we dragged that to where we want on the page. And now inside of our one-on-one hosting page, we have an interactive video. So any one of our users who come to our one-on-one website can now follow us on Twitter, can join our mailing list, can watch more videos, can learn more. They can join for our webinar here. We can have a call to action. This logo is able to drive clicks. And again, when we talk about our engagement rates, 23%, 40% on mobile devices, what we just done is transformed your one-on-one web hosting site, that every one of the videos that you're using on your one-on-one site can now convert your viewers into customers. And at the end of the day, the reason you're building a website is exactly that, to help your business. And the combination of Viewbix and one-on-one allows you to create a really simple, easy-to-use website backed by a great hosting company, and now add interactive videos as part of that. And then you can extend that experience to social and mobile, and have an integrated testing tool to see how things are performing. So when you put those elements together in a really simple, easy to use, we think this is going to be a great tool to help your marketing efforts, right? And when you see all the stats, as we mentioned, that more of your users are consuming video content, right? The reason why you want to partner with Viewbix is to help extend another great service to help you maximize your web experience. And again, you go to the web app, you choose Viewbix, or once you've done that, insert elements, and you can get that under the Products tab, Products and Documents, and just drag Viewbix right in, and then you're off and running. So hopefully, again, in the last 30 minutes, I hope you've had a quick overview of why it's so critical to use video marketing as part of your overall strategy. And also, you've seen how easy one-on-one has made it for you to add interactive videos to your website that is mobile-friendly, social-friendly, and has the ability to give you the analytics that you're looking for to understand how your video is helping your business.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much, Jonathan. Why don't we jump into some Q&A? Let's take a look at some of the questions that we have. One comment we have, this is a lot of information in a short amount of time. Will you be able to send me the steps? We will be able to send you the email for the rebroadcast so you can watch it at your leisure. And if you have any questions about how to work with Viewbix within their environment to register, you can contact the support that Jonathan mentioned earlier. Is there any copyright issues if I'm rebroadcasting a video from YouTube, Jonathan?
So, great question. So when you sign up for Viewbix, you're signing up that you're going to abide by the terms and conditions of that whatever hosting platform you use, whether it's YouTube, Vimeo, etc. Technically, when you upload a video to YouTube, unless you make it private or unlisted, you're giving rights for other people to use that video. But again, that's more of a technical question. Generally, what we've seen with YouTube, and we have a great relationship with them, is that if you're using the content for your business and it's specifically related to what you're doing, that's generally okay. So if you're selling a camera and it's related content and it's, for your own purposes, you're not using third-party advertising, that's generally okay. But you'll just want to double-check and make sure that you're abiding by the terms and conditions of YouTube. But in general, as I mentioned, once you upload that content, you are giving access and rights for people to use that. But from an advertising, and really what we're not doing is advertising, but lead gen, helping your business, is it's got to be related to your specific business and for your own purposes only.
Fantastic. And then we had a question about, are there any pre-configured videos that I can use on my site specifically for architecture? Unfortunately, no, we don't have any pre-recorded videos for those kind of purposes, but we do have a product in the one-on-one my website web app store called Video Maker, and it's a very simplistic tool that allows you to create montages and videos right there within your one-on-one environment and then drag and drop to your website, much like you saw the Viewbix player dragged and dropped. The goal of the web app store is to extend the functionality of your website, give you some really great tools and apps to use, and then our goal is to make it as easy as possible. So we're just dragging and dropping and a couple configuration steps, add in your account, and you're good to go. So very good question there.
Brian, let me add to that a new feature, and again, you guys actually are the first ones to actually see this. So kind of a little bit groundbreaking. What we're releasing shortly as well is actually to add to what you said in terms of once you've created your content, and you can use that great tool in the one-on-one app store, we actually have pre-configured players. So if you like a player, for example, in real estate or travel or what have you, you can actually select the player that you want, and we'll put this layout into your account, and then you could just configure it for your specific business. So very similar. Once you have the video, we actually will be rolling out shortly pre-configured layouts and skins for people who want to use it. So to make the process even simpler, we can actually, if you're an architect and you may want to use a real estate player and have specific apps preloaded and pre-configured, right, we'll actually help extend that service even easier. So a quick sneak preview of some coming features as well.
Here's a quick question. What is the difference between videos on the site and a link to YouTube on your site?
Great. So excellent question. So when you have a link to YouTube, and we've seen this quite often, is, when you think about your website, you think about SEO, right, you spend so much time driving users to your website, the last thing you want to do is drive them away. And if you put a link to YouTube and someone clicks on that, they're leaving your website, right? And we released the video gallery tool because we were seeing this quite often where a lot of people had lots of videos bringing you to your YouTube channel page. And YouTube marketing is really critical, and it should be an important part of what you're doing. But when you're talking about driving users to your website, if you just use a YouTube link, then the people are going to be clicking off to watch that video on YouTube. And what you want to do as a business owner is, as mentioned, keep those people on your site as long as possible and have them take the action that you want. So, that's the big difference between just these links to YouTube and versus having the player embedded on your website is keeping people on your site for as long as possible, so ultimately they'll take the action that you want them to take.
Great. And with such advanced features, I'm expecting this to be really expensive. Can you embed Viewbix in a video on YouTube where a viewer can take action from your YouTube site video? Can you talk about the difference between driving traffic to your site versus to your YouTube channel?
Sure. So a lot of questions in that, right? So first of all, the first question was, sounds really expensive. Well, I got great news on that front. The Viewbix plans start as low as $10 a month, okay? And the highest price point is $30 a month. So a couple of $100 a year. It's extremely affordable, right? And it's a very important component of our business. Is we want to make this available. And there are some enterprise solutions that are a bit higher price than that. But for the average user, the highest price point is going to be $20 a month, $30 a month, but you can get as low as that, plus we have a free version of that. So really affordable. We want to make this easy. We want lots of businesses using that, right? And so we've made the product as low cost as possible. The other thing is, we talked about in YouTube, right, is today, Viewbix itself, the technology doesn't work on YouTube.com, right? But anywhere that you put that YouTube video. So if you put on your blog, if you put on your website, if you put on your mobile site, if you put on your social pages, right, it will work outside anywhere, And it's something, hopefully in the future we can get together with YouTube to have those features work on YouTube.com itself. But right now, it works any way that you can take that YouTube video and put it off onto your site or blog or social pages, etc.
Okay, great. And that's going to wrap up our Q&A session. We'll leave you with one final comment. This is so simple and awesome, and that comes from Dwayne. So appreciate that, Dwayne. If you have any questions, feel free to contact myself. I'm at brian.costello@oneandone.com. Happy to answer all of your questions. And you can reach Jonathan and his team at Viewbix at support@viewbix.com. So any final thoughts, Jonathan?
Again, number one, I just want to thank Brian and the entire one-on-one team for giving us the opportunity to speak to you guys for a few minutes. I would just wrap this up and say, hopefully the takeaway you got from this is that video is increasingly, or if not the most important part of your content strategy. And partnering with one-on-one, we've made this as absolutely simple as possible, as low cost as possible. And we really want to be there, myself and Brian, to help you with any questions you may have, to help you maximize your marketing experience, and help you accomplish your business goals and make your businesses as absolutely successful as possible. So thank you very much again for taking the time with us today, and hopefully you learned a little bit about how to really improve your video marketing strategy.
Thanks, Jonathan. And on behalf of One-on-One, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. I'd like to thank all the customers who are my website customers. And take the time to go and investigate web apps. You're going to find a ton of functional, excellent apps in there. Currently in the U.S. market, we have over 200 web apps available for your use to drag and drop into your website and really increase the functionality of the site so that you can gain more leads, communicate with your customers, really drive a marketing plan, and of course at the end of the day, hopefully generate more revenue. So on behalf of the team here at One-on-One and Viewbix, we thank you for joining today and have a great day. Bye-bye.